before you begin recording. I do not hear anyone recording, so let's proceed to our agenda. So first is the minutes.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting, which
Second.
was sometime recently.
6/23/22.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Motion seconded by Susan. Any further discussion on the minutes? Any edits?
Good.
Okay, hearing none. I don't remember if we did this before in virtual meetings, but I know that we're supposed to always do a roll call vote in virtual meetings according to the rules right now. So just do a quick roll call vote. Wisty, this is for approval of the minutes.
Approve.
Okay, Garth,
Approve.
Donna,
Approve.
Susan.
Approved.
Okay, I also approve. So the minutes are approved unanimously with 5 votes. All right. So next on the agenda is annual reorganization, chair, vice chair, and secretary. I guess one question I had, Christian, was I know you've been doing the minutes, which is like the secretary's position, essentially. Do you know if we're required to have a secretary, or was that just we had one before? And
I don't know if it's required. I think it's just the chair and vice chair that are definitely required. But I looked back at the very first minutes from the first meeting, and everyone voted on a chair, vice chair, and a note taker, which was Barb. So it was voted on before, so I figured I'd put it on here again just to have, because plus now we're gonna have all the documents and everything for all the different applications. So there probably should be an official secretary or something.
Okay.
There might be like signatures we need to meet on somewhere.
Yeah. And I guess another thing is that like it's a little weird, I think, voting someone into a position if we're not sure if they're going to accept that position or not. You know, so if we were going to vote someone who wasn't here, for, you know, let's say if Tom was vice chair again, I haven't spoken to Tom to see if he would be willing to accept that position again. And I was trying to do a little research on this I was reading all these Robert's Rules of Orders things, and it was saying that, you know, it's suggested to contact someone if they're not at the meeting, like call them while the meeting is going on to make sure they will accept it before you vote for them. But
You want me to call Tom right now?
well, I guess
Because I can, just to see if he's still interested in it. I have his work number, I think.
okay. I guess unless someone else here would like to be vice chair or chair.
Yeah, if no one else entertains a submission for either of those positions, then we can discuss calling someone that's not here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like dump everything on people who aren't here and then, you know, they didn't even have a say.
That's standard procedure. That's Bob's rule of order.
Garth's rule of order.
You weren't there. We elected you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I guess I guess right now we're open to nominations. You can nominate someone who's here, or you can nominate yourself for one of those positions. Susan?
I would like to nominate Travis for chair.
Oh, and I would like to. I like that idea.
All right. I was hoping Tom was going to be here, and I was going to see if Tom wanted to be chair because, you know, he has more experience with CPA from previous positions, but
you run a better meeting,
okay.
very honestly.
All right.
And he's rarely been at these meetings.
Well, that's true. All right. Well, I guess I would say I would accept if voted to be the chair, I would accept that position. So I'm not gonna flat out refuse, I guess.
Thank you.
Would anyone here like to nominate anyone for vice chair or well, maybe I think we should do it like one position at a time, maybe, before I get ahead of myself here. Are there any other nominations for chair? Okay. Hearing no other nominations for chair, we can do just a voice vote. You know, if there were more than one position, you would be voting for one person or the other, but I guess in this position, it's just whether you're voting for me to be chair or not. So, an aye or a nay for me, Travis Drury, to be chair. So I'll just do a roll call vote again. Wisty,
Aye.
Garth,
Aye.
Donna,
Aye.
Susan.
Aye.
All right, and I'm also an aye. I'll vote for myself too. All right, so I guess I am elected chair for this next year. And I guess I just want to add to that I don't claim to be all-knowing about how to run meetings, and please, anyone speak up at any time if something needs to be done differently, or I'm not, you know, I'm fairly new to being a chair, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay.
Done well so far.
All right, thank you. So the next position would be vice chair. And essentially the vice chair runs the meeting if the chair isn't around. So any nominations for anyone who's here for vice chair?
I'd be willing to do it if Tom doesn't want to continue, but I'd also be happy with him continuing.
I
Okay.
second Garth.
Okay.
So how do we proceed? Like, and Garth is the backup if Tom doesn't want to do it, or?
Well, at the moment, Garth is the only one nominated.
Right.
So I guess we would be voting. So far, we have one candidate to vote for.
Sounds perfect.
And I wasn't sure if Garth was sort of nominating Tom with what you said there.
Yes, of sorts. Saying, but
Okay,
I mean,
I'm gonna change.
as noted, he's
All right.
sometimes isn't able to make it. So if it's a running meeting thing,
I nominate Garth. Straight up. No
Okay.
ifs, ands, or buts.
Second.
All right, nomination of Garth by Susan, seconded by Donna. Any other? So, okay, so sorry, Garth. So was that an official nomination of Tom, or a thought that maybe he could be nominated? I just want to be clear.
I guess that was a thought. I would accept the nomination.
Okay, any other nominations for vice chair? Okay. Hearing no further nominations, we can vote on the one candidate who has been nominated at this time. So again, that Garth has been nominated, and we can do a roll call vote on Garth for vice chair. Wisty,
Aye.
Donna,
I,
Susan,
Aye.
Garth,
All right,
and I'm also an aye. So Garth is our new vice chair. Congratulations. And so the last position, I believe we don't need a secretary, and as we were saying, but if we would like a secretary, someone could be nominated to be a secretary. Is there anyone who feels they are good with the paperwork and potentially note-taking duties?
No. No.
No.
I would also like that the only other members that are here are women, and I don't want to see us do that, the women do the secretary job.
Mhm.
So I would like to, can we table this discussion until the next meeting, or next regular meeting? Since it's not a position we have to have.
Yeah, I guess, Christian, do you know, I'm not sure about like, is that something, can we like continue the election until the next meeting? Or,
Since it's not an official position, I think we're fine. I don't even know if it would, probably don't even have to do an actual vote. It'd be like
yeah,
designating someone. Because the original vote for chair, vice chair, and secretary, though looking at the minutes, it didn't sound like it was an actual like official vote either. It was just like, but
just
I wasn't
who's gonna-
there.
yeah, I can't remember at that first meeting. I mean, it could be that we just don't, we could see how it goes not having a secretary. And, if someone needs to fill in and do the duties that a secretary would, we can have someone do that. And then if we feel that that needs to be a position next year, we could add it in too.
Okay, and are you suggesting then that, like, Christian, that you would keep it up? Is that sort of what you're suggesting, Travis?
Well, I'm saying that, yeah, so far, since Christian started his job, we haven't really utilized the secretary position. So it may not be necessary if that's the way we're going to continue doing this.
Okay.
And I guess, Christian, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I'm fine with continuing to take minutes. My only worry is that when we're having meetings, when we're discussing stuff with potential applicants, I might be involved in those conversations more than I have been in the meetings we have been having. So I wouldn't be super good note taker. I'd have to like watch a recording or something afterward.
Yeah.
Good.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Wesley.
We could step up in that case. I mean, any one of us.
Yeah, that's essentially what I was suggesting is, as someone could be secretary as needed for this year, and then we could see if that needs to be a position for the following year, if we're utilizing that a lot.
Okay.
yeah, it seems reasonable.
Okay. So I guess there are no further positions then for our annual reorganization.
I want to ask something about.
Sure.
So is there some kind of a limit to the number of meetings that somebody should miss? It just kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that is in the what's it called? If that's like in the rules for the CPC. I know I know with the Conservation Commission, which I'm also on, that after 3 absences, there can be like disciplinary action up to and including the mayor removing them from. But I don't know if the CPC has anything like that. Christian, is there anything you're aware of?
I have not looked into it. I haven't seen it anywhere, just looking at documents over the last year. So I'm not sure.
Or is there a general, something in the city bylaws or whatever, but general committee assignments and
That's what I
and
was.
attendance?
Yeah. So I'm checking right now.
And I'm not meaning this at all personally, but when I think of the cohesion of a group,
Mhm.
if there's some people who just are regular, kind of not there, some work is not getting done by some people, and it feels like it kind of changes group energy to me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, so I will say this is separate from that, but in the city code, chapter 117, community preservation committee, for officers, it does say the committee shall annually elect one of its members as chair and one of its members as vice chair. In the event chair is unavailable, the vice chair shall run the meeting. And in the event vice chair is unavailable, the most senior member of the committee shall chair the committee. So it doesn't say anything about a secretary in there. So we're not required by the code to have one. Yeah, I don't see anything in there about attendance.
All right.
All right, let me get back to our agenda here. Okay, so next on our agenda is old business, review flyer and press release.
I saw the posting was in the paper this morning for the hearing. Thank you for doing that, Christian.
Yep, it was in there today, and then it'll be in there next Thursday as well.
Cool.
Do you have a copy? Do you have the copy of the flyer and press release that you could share just so we could all see it together? And I figured you probably had it pulled up.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. Why can't I zoom out?
Yeah, you might have to like download it and then.
Separate. Yeah, I have it just up on my screen.
There you go.
Okay.
One thing I noticed is I saw this in the press release, but I didn't catch it here. It says a small amount of property tax is 1%. That's not exactly true. It's a 1% surcharge. So I don't want people to be confused about that. So I think I'll have Aaron adjust that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought about, and it was about that same line, is do we want to make it clear that the state provides matching funds just so that people sort of continue to understand the value of chipping in? And I don't know how that would be written. It was just something that as we're putting this out, the reaction of people like, oh, there go my property taxes, to understand that it's getting matched on some level.
Yeah, maybe
like-
something. Yeah, maybe something like allows a local property tax surcharge with a state match to be spent
Yes.
on these things. Something like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Would we call it a law or, yeah, I guess because it's an act. I was gonna say like program that provides matching funds for communities who elect to have a 1% surcharge of their property taxes devoted to this or something like that. And I don't want to get too wordy. I want to make sure that people understand that one of the reasons we're doing this is not just to take people's tax money, but to also get money from the state.
Yeah, I like that. I like leading with the, state law that provides a match, provides a state match
Correct.
to property tax surcharge.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to say like what the percentage is, because it can change, and it's not exactly 1%, and it's right. It could be up to 3. We haven't voted that in, but
Yeah, I guess ours is 1%, and
right.
also it doesn't list the exemptions and exempting.
Yeah, I don't want it to get like too. It's just be like the small surcharge. A state match to a small surcharge. We can use it for this. I think it's fine. People can sit through the whole presentation and or ask us questions if they're like, so how exactly, how much do I pay?
Yeah, maybe that'll get them more interested if we don't have the percentage on there.
Right.
Yeah, I think that percentage, and because it's even not a full 1% of everything, so I think you just get people in the weeds.
Right. People start being like, well, mine wasn't 1%, mine ended up being yada yada.
Yeah, because it's 1% of what's over 100,000, so it's just the evaluation. So it's not worth the effort, I think, to try to do that.
Yeah. Small match. Perfect.
Yeah.
Any other parts of the flyer that anyone thinks needs to be modified?
Personally, other than that, I think Christian did a great job.
Mhm.
This was Aaron in the mayor's office, actually.
Oh, well, the two of you did a great job.
Excellent.
We got to get you some credit in there too. I like the short link, how it's G Field CPC. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm glad he did that.
Oh yeah.
And is there actually a period at the end of the URL? Or is that just to end a sentence? Because sometimes that gets confusing.
Mm.
I think it's just ending the sentence.
It's a comma, and it works.
With the period.
There is no period.
Right, I'm just saying at the bottom where it says learn more, bit.ly, it says CPC and then there's a period and to end the sentence, but I feel like I don't know if people copy and paste.
Or back on the
Yeah.
flyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if we want to lose the period so that people don't.
I think you missed the slash.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that would make sense. Click on need it there.
I wonder if it has to be the capital. You might have to use the capital letters too.
Oh, I don't like that.
I think that's how they make them so short, is that
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true.
Right, the hash function sorts that out.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think it would be fine to remove that period. Just, technically we'd have a sentence without a period at the end, but maybe it would be, 1% less confusing, which
Yeah.
the less confusing, the better.
And if you're looking at it online and you just do a copy paste and the periods in there, then you're probably not going to go where you need to go.
Yeah.
So.
Interestingly, I mean, it does work with the with the period, but I think, yeah, it doesn't need to be there.
Okay, well, if it works either way, then I'm fine either way, just as long as it works.
Okay. All right, so this is the press release now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess the only other thing that I saw here again was just that, well, we got the 1% thing, but also like emphasizing the state match. And I don't know if we just like how, if you want to put a dollar amount or just say that the state provides matching funds, if that's what it does.
I think the more general we leave it, the better. Very frankly. Because it just gets, the percentages are going to change every year and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure it's worth it to try to.
Yeah. And also, it's, you know, it says a state program that allows a 1% surcharge, but really it allows a 1 to 3% surcharge, and we chose to do a 1% surcharge.
Right.
So it's slightly different than what it says there.
We just make it, you know, like the other one, just make it participation in a state program that allows a small surcharge.
About, is it ready? That's ready.
Yeah. Christian, does it seem like those edits might be able to be made so that it's slightly more accurate?
Yeah, I can, I might even do it and just send it back to Aaron.
Okay. And do you know when this is going to go out?
Aaron gets back in the office on Monday, so I think they're going to send it out at the beginning of the week, which is
Okay.
pretty good timing because it'll probably be in the paper and wherever whoever else picks it up, or on like Friday or Saturday, which will be good for
Okay.
the Thursday meeting the next week after that.
I just
Oh.
want to read this part. This is an opportunity to improve neighborhoods and the quality of life in Greenfield, and we are looking to hear from members of the community about projects that most interest them. We are holding listening sessions and a public hearing this summer to solicit ideas from the public. In case I never said those words before, now you can quote me exactly. I agree with all that.
The only other thing I'm thinking about here from me looking at it is technically we have more than 258,000 because that's the FY22 funds that have been raised so far, but you guys can also draw from the FY23 estimated budget, which is what we just did a couple of months ago. So it's more like double that. I mean, you wouldn't use all of the estimate. You wouldn't try and use all the estimated funds because that would be dangerous. You might have less than what you estimate, but so it's not entirely true there. But
Yeah.
you could change it to something like Greenfield has already raised 258,000 in 2022 or in 2021. That might make it easier for people to understand because then like we're continuing to raise funds.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's one question that people are going to have for us is like, so how much money exactly do you have, to allocate this year? And I guess we don't have like an exact answer to what that number is because it's really just estimated for.
It shouldn't be lower than the estimate, but you never know.
Yeah.
But I had someone reach out to me today. It was actually Alyssa who used to be helping us from FERCog, and she asked what I thought the number was, and I told her it was technically 258,000 plus the estimate minus the administrative costs that are set aside for this year. That's the number I gave her, and I explained what I just said. Like technically, we're probably not going to try and allocate all of that because it's estimated. But
do you know like what the number is it like around 500,000 or something, like the
There.
estimate plus last year?
I
Because
don't know if I
maybe we should change it to that. Maybe we should like, whatever the estimate is plus last year, kind of round it off to the nearest, 25,000 or something, and say approximately that much.
Yeah,
Will, are the funds able to be rolled over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so we could also just say, we're gonna say 300,000 this time around, just. And
we
then,
could. I mean, it
Yes,
kind of
we-
depends on
we-
the projects though, right? Like,
yeah,
You know,
And we could also just say that the city has accrued,
upwards of,
over 250,000 so far, and then we're looking for input both on the plan priorities, and holding listening sessions on, about, projects, right? Because the hearing is really on the plan. We don't really want 20 people showing up at the hearing meeting and telling us, you should be spending this more on X, Y, and Z, or, right? Because it's really, the hearing is on the plan.
Yeah.
I mean, people will say whatever they want, but
yeah, and it's
wondering
kind of,
if we
I
should
feel
try to
like-
make it clear which ones are which.
yeah, and I mean, I guess what we want to know is like, is there anything wrong with our plan? Or is it, what could we change about our plan? But I think overall, it's like, what are your priorities for this money in our town? Like, do people want more? Someone might say, oh, I think you should spend as much of it on open space as possible and only spend the minimum on housing,
do we
that's
wanna like?
kind of what we want to hear. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Do
Okay.
you wanna like leave money out altogether and just, so that people don't like focus on that? I mean, is there a way to sort of say, we've got some funding without, it might cause more people to show up? I don't know, just a
Mm.
thought.
I guess I would prefer to like set the number high, like, like the top end of the estimate, and just say could spend up to that amount.
Sure.
And then, because we don't have to,
Travis, I think that's a good idea.
okay.
well, and
Wisty?
I know that we're spending it, but one of my concerns, even in this discussion, is I understand that we want feedback on our plan. But one of the things that we're not making clear, I don't think, is that this is about projects that other people are going to do.
Yeah.
So in all this stuff, it kind of sounds like maybe we're going to come up with the plans and see that it's done. I don't think that point's being clearly said. So even that money, we're going to allocate that money for somebody else to use.
Yeah.
But we're not going to spend it. We're going to allocate it for somebody else. And so I want to somehow help people be clear that bottom line responsibility on this is them coming up with good things that they're going to be working on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can workshop some language with Aaron about like maybe even in that first paragraph, something about how it's like you're saying, like other people. There's probably some flowery language we could come up with to make it sound nice. But
Yeah.
I think that I agree that's also important.
And
from
maybe
my
that
perspective.
maybe that quote from me could be more like, we're looking to hear from members of the community about the types of projects that most interest them. Like, I think we want to know it, like in general, how people think we should be spending the money, like, do people think we should be dealing with, more trails and things like that? So like, we do want to know about like the types of projects, but we don't necessarily want someone to say, oh, you need to install, this structure on this park. Like, okay, well, go tell the, recreation department to submit a, project.
Right.
Right, and I mean, I think that, well, that's related to the kinds of plans, what people want. I mean, we are doing a presentation about the plan that was developed. And so this sort of feels like a two-part kind of a thing, like the thing at John's On is gonna be about, here's what we came up with for a plan. We want your input on the plan first, before we get the input on the projects. And I understand that they're related and they inform each other. But I'm just wondering if there's a way to be more clear that the public information hearing is about the plan that we created.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to see where in here, like, I feel like in the first or second paragraph, maybe it should say something about how, the CPC has developed a draft plan and, want feedback, a draft plan highlighting, priorities for, like priorities for spending the money, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's highlighting priorities that are aligned with the sort of letter of the law for the actual, like, I mean, we have our priorities, we have to make sure that they fit into the law, so.
Yeah. And we like mainly want feedback on whether our priorities match with what the citizens of Greenfield feel their priorities are. I mean, I think that's mainly the goal.
Do we want chocolate ice cream?
So
Okay.
I feel like we're rewriting the whole thing. Yeah, Susan, you've got some background noise coming through there.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm in Bernardston at the moment, so I'm outside, so I have a limited amount of control.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Christian, do you think these are like these changes are too much, or
I think I mean I've written down what it's just a few bullet points. I think I can incorporate them and send it back to Aaron, and he'll make sure that there's no typos or anything. I think we'll be good to go after that.
Okay. Any further feedback on this? And this is a press release like coming from like the mayor's office or something, right? Like,
Yeah, it'll be like it'll say something on it like mayor's office and the Greenfield Community Preservation Committee or something like that.
okay. I guess I was just wondering if we needed to vote to approve it. Like if we were the ones sending it out, like we would probably want to make sure that we voted to approve it.
Yeah, get like a vote with the suggested edits that you made.
Yeah.
I would, vote to, let the, the communications folks do whatever they have to do for the press release, with the caveat that they should double check the quote with the person quoted, and then let it run from there. I think it's tough for us to wordsmith it, and people are going to read in whatever they read in. You try to be as clear as possible.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So is that a motion in a second and we're voting on it, or?
Not
is
sure.
that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
That was a motion to officially delegate it. Like
okay.
we've given feedback.
To approve sending sending out a press release with the CPC's name on it, based on the draft that we reviewed, and incorporating edits. Is that the motion, essentially?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay. Is there a second?
that's
Okay.
plausible.
Susan seconded that. So, any further discussion on that before we vote on it? Okay, I'll just do a roll call vote again. Wisty,
Aye.
Garth,
All right.
Donna,
Aye.
and Susan.
Aye.
All right, and I'm also an aye. So we are voting to approve sending out a press release. So that's exciting. All right, so the next thing on our agenda is outreach strategy. And I think someone might have some information about our listening sessions.
Well, we're going to be contacting community organizations to encourage people to come. The rec department will have our leaflet at the summer camp and at any other events that they have. So that will be out there. We haven't yet got the full list of where we're going to go. So that's where we are right now.
Okay. With Garth just left very quickly, and I was gonna say, I don't think we have a quorum anymore with
Right.
Garth gone. But I think we're essentially at the end of our meeting. Anyway. Okay. Okay, that sounds good. I'm glad there's being progress. Progress is being made.
Right.
On our outreach.
So as soon as we can get the leaflet, we can get it out to places.
Mhm.
And so once we have it, we can move ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and Christian, I guess if you could just maybe email us when those might be ready.
Yeah,
and
when there's
maybe-
a final leaflet and a final press release, I'll send those out just so everyone knows
Okay.
what they look like.
And then do you have the ability to just like print a bunch of those? I mean, I don't know how many we're gonna need, but the flyers.
I guess. Oh, I wish Garth didn't leave. I was gonna say you guys could approve me to use
Yeah.
to print stuff at Copycat or something like that.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys
Do
aren't
we
gonna do
really have
that.
to approve every expenditure? I mean, that seems more
I
like
guess
an
maybe you-
operating cost of doing business, but
I guess you would approve it when we're actually paying the bill. So I guess if people are okay with me doing that, I can do that.
I think
Or
that
the
makes sense.
direction of the chair directs me to do it. Maybe
Okay,
that's the way
yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
And it may be that, I don't know if you guys do like the purchase order kind of scenario, but I mean, it's obviously, we're gonna have to pay to have them printed, so.
Sorry, Wisty, go ahead.
So I just need help understanding this is who should we be letting know, like about the listening session? I still get confused over really who's listening to whom and what we're listening about. And that would really help determine who we're going to share this information with. You know what I mean?
Could we do this in a subcommittee, subgroup?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I think that makes more sense than doing.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, as long as there's fewer than a quorum, you guys can talk about that.
Okay.
Right now.
Oh, yeah, like right now, I guess. All right. Does anyone have any other business? We're to that section of the agenda. No other business.
Well, I want
Go
to know,
ahead.
like, how many members is the committee supposed to have?
And
And, you know, I just am concerned about the number who are here.
Mhm.
And it seems real functional. It's just, you know, what's the deal? What's our number? Are we down one? Does the mayor need to make another appointment?
oh yeah, that's happening. The Dave Chichester, I think is pronounced his last name, is he was an alternate for the planning board. He's being made a full member of the planning board, and he will be their CPC representative.
Great.
Which that nominate that I think that's going to get voted through city council at this upcoming meeting.
Okay.
Then
Thank
we'll be back to 9.
Yep.
So we still need one more at large, is it?
No,
9
we're
or
supposed to
10?
have 9.
Oh, 9, okay.
Yeah. We have 4 at large. 3 of whom were just here.
And then do we want to say anything about absences and stuff?
I mean, I guess that's my responsibility as chair to to like, you know, make sure people are following through with their commitment to the committee. I can reach out to some people and you know, make sure that we're at least having a quorum. And yeah.
Yeah, and it's not to chastise anybody, but if
Yeah.
people really don't feel like they have time, that's absolutely fine because they're busy doing other stuff, you know, but maybe somebody else would have time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess the challenging part is that the state dictates that you have to have representatives from different, organizations, and
Mhm.
I mean, and pretty much everybody on the rec commission went like this, and
Yeah.
Barbara said she would do it, and then she couldn't follow through, and Christy was like, please, could you just do this? And I did not sign up for any positions because I'm maxed out, like, on so
Yeah.
many other things. But I'm here because the rec commission needs to have somebody here, and so the same is true for the planning board and historical, and if you're pulling from a pool, it has to be one of these people. I think that makes it more challenging. It seems like we're having more luck with the at-large people because they're the ones that, sought this or were recruited because they're the right person for this. I don't know. It's only my 3rd meeting, but that's my observation.
Yeah, so those are excellent points. I wonder if it would help to talk to the different commissions or boards or whatever about, could they recruit different members? I don't, like, is there anything that they could do to try to find people representing them who would really like to be on here and who have the time? That's crucial.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, like Donna was saying, it's hard on other commissions, like, getting anyone to volunteer to do.
Sure.
It's hard to get people to be an officer on one commission, let alone like being appointed to multiple commissions and
Sure.
different meetings. So I mean, it's probably going to be I mean, I'm a very optimistic person, but I would have to say that I think there's probably going to be, not 100% attendance at all of our meetings.
And that's fine. And people have every right to not attend.
Oh,
I just think
Susan.
that, we haven't been in existence that long, and there are kind of signs that we should sort of deal with it somehow. Or the concept of it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think you have to look at, what's the makeup of the boards and commissions that we need to pull from. are they full? And if not, and like, you know, are there alternate positions? Like, you know, we have regular commissioners, you know, we have, I'm the chair, we have a clerk, and then we have like 3 other commissioners, and then we have a couple of alternates. Like, are there places where maybe an alternate could plug in and not necessarily have to be so active on that actual commission, but you know, it's like, we're pulling you in as an alternate to our commission so that you can be on this other commission.
Mhm.
I don't know the legality of that, but it's just, I'm casting around for ideas.
Perhaps what we need to do is check with each of these commissions and find out if there is any problem. And if there is, then we can deal with it rather than trying to kind of figure it out kind of without having that information.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just looking at the city code again. It just says 1 current member of the Conservation Commission, 1 current member of Historical Commission. So I guess I don't know if that leaves it open to like alternate members or not. I guess it could be interpreted as 1 full member, or it could be alternate members are members, because, you know, I'm not sure.
Could we find that out?
I guess maybe
I would say we ask forgiveness rather than permission.
I like that idea.
It would seem to me that if they're appointed by the committee, that the alternate as opposed to full member might be able to be dealt with.
Yeah, well, I think that this is, you know, we said we were gonna have a really quick meeting and we're almost at an hour, so I just
Yeah.
want to point out
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we might want to move this along. I'm
Yeah.
happy to make a motion to adjourn if people don't want to go up in arms about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can. I mean, I think we've got our point across at this point, and I'll think about it and see what I can come up with. And there was just one other thing I was going to mention. So our next meeting is July 28th, 2022, 5:30 to 7 p.m. at John's On Community Center. That's our public hearing. One thing that we didn't discuss for the public hearing is like a time limit for people giving comments, and I think there should be some.
Travis, why don't we do what the council does, which is 3 minutes?
I mean, I think that's a fair amount of time, and
And it's comments, not questions, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we're just sitting there and listening. And then, okay, so okay, so we'll do 3 minutes. Christian, do you know, are we going to be able to like record that meeting at all?
I'm gonna make sure that GCTV is there, because this is like our biggest
Yeah.
thing in the entire year, so they should be there.
Okay, yeah, it'd be good to have it recorded, and that will also help us with having the public comments recorded as well for our own purposes. Okay.
Travis, just a reminder that I will not be there. So
Yes.
we need to have a quorum, so make sure that, you know, guys show up.
Yeah, okay. I will, yeah. I'll make sure we have a quorum there. All right. Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Donna, seconded by Wisty. I guess we'll just do a roll call vote real quick. Wisty,
Yes.
Donna,
Yeah,
Susan.
Yes.
Okay, I'm also a yes, so.
okay. And just an FYI, and you can check this, but I've been told that once the motion is made and seconded, you don't have to vote on adjournment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
I mean, another way
it's
we can do it is by
done.
unanimous.
Yeah.
Another way we can do it is by unanimous consent. I could just say, if there are no objections, we will adjourn.
shut
Hearing
it
no
down.
objections, we're now adjourned.
I
So I can
like
do it that way too.
Cool.
Great. Thank
So I'll
you.
just do
Alright.
that from now on.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Okay.
folks.